Hey everybody, it's Odin, and in this week's video, I asked you guys, what would you do if you were your Fursona for a day? Now, I'm going to be showing you some of the tweets I got and some of the video clips I got answering this question, but before I go on, I want you to pause this video and comment, what would you do if you were your Fursona for a day? Like, really, what would you do? Pause the video, write it, before you see the rest of the video, because maybe it'll influence you. I want to see what would you do if you were your Fursona for a day, because I'll read them, and it'll be entertainment for me and everybody else looking through the comment. Pause right here, comment, and then, we'll get back to it. Okay, now that you've totally unpaused and left a comment, and also subscribed if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm getting close to 100K. I want to hit it. Anyway, I tweeted out, and my Twitter is @ODamnWolf. It's right here. What would you do if you were your Fursona for a day? Respond to this tweet with your answer, and I may feature it in a future video. And, I was expecting some responses, but not quite as many as I got, because there was almost 500 of them, which is awesome. So I've kind of picked out some of the responses. A lot of them were a little bit samey after a while anyway, and I'm gonna read those to you. And then between reading some of these, I'm also gonna show clips from my fellow furry YouTubers answering what they would do if they were their Fursona for a day. So it's gonna be a little bit of everything, mix it up, and at the very end, I will let you know what I would do if I was my Fursona for a day. Now, there were a lot of responses that were a bit spicy NSFW, but I'm not gonna read those responses because, we all know that if we're older and we become a Fursona, we're gonna do some spicier things, but I'm just gonna read more of the other stuff for this video, alright? And again, I'm gonna lean up to my monitor, so it may be awkward. Now, Stark says, spend the entire day picking my stray fur out of my food. Now, that does not sound like a very fun day if you're to be a Fursona. I could think of at least a few other things I would be doing first, but you do you, boo. Now, Iris brought up a good point, and they said, activate my special attack, female mode. They brought up a good point, though, like, oh yeah, some people's Fursonas are the opposite gender, so they get to experience gender swap for a day too. Cry says, I would put on my fursuit and go outside, only to take off my head in public, revealing an actual wusky. Could you imagine a fursuiter at a convention, and you're like, oh, that fursuit's pretty good, and then they pull it off, and it really is an anthro? I think everyone would collectively, piss themselves in shock. Alright, let's take a break here and look at a video clip. What would they do if they were a Fursona for a day?
What would I do if I was my Sona for one whole day? It's natural for me to overthink things. That's exactly what I did here. What does be my Sona for a day mean? Would this just be like part of my body now? Would the world turn like cartoony style and like everybody was a cartoon? But if that was the case, would you be able to know it's a cartoon if the entire world? What about showering? How would that work? These eyes, would these turn real? Would these be real, like blinking and moving? How would my mouth move? Would I be able to drink stuff? I don't really have lips. Is this like a thing where I knew it was gonna happen and I could prepare to be like transformed? Or is this a thing where like I fell into a wormhole and got teleported to a parallel universe type deal? Right over there, on the other side of my room, there's a wormhole over there that's been getting bigger and bigger by the day, and I'm worried it's gonna swallow me up. So if that is the case, where it just takes me to a parallel universe where everyone's a furry, I'm not as scared. That would be good to know. Would I have thumbs? I think in summary, my answer to the question is I would wait until it was the middle of the night, and then I'd just get up and start screaming at the top of my lungs like a cat.
Dan Wolf says, oh, you know what everyone would try first? Checks inside pants. Ooh woo. Yeah, I know. I check inside of my pants to see if my underwear was still on. Because, like when you see the Incredible Hulk, he like transforms and he still has his clothes on somehow. And, if you were to change into your Fursona, would you still have your clothes on? Who knows? I'm sure that's exactly what you meant. By the way, I would make many videos and photos as possible, show myself to my friends, and have a fun time as my silly wolf self. Yes, I think you'd want to take a lot of photo and video to archive the day for future posterity. Tuesday says, eat everything. Bears got big stomachs and need to eat. It'd be interesting to eat anything and everything without worry. And that is a good point. Although, what if you are your Fursona for a day and then everything you ate and all that like weight you gained retains and then you have your normal human self and you just gained a ton of weight? Gotta think about that. Mangle says, no. Okay. Neo Cryptic says, I'd go around giving hugs and snugs to all my friends and make magic glowing orbs since my Fursona is a mage. And my question is, what would the orbs do? Uwu. Let's take a look at a couple clips here. Let's take a break from these tweets.
If I was my Fursona for a day, I would admire my beautiful hair, how straight it is compared to the curly mess that I have.
If I were my Fursona for a day, I wonder how many howls I'd start. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Benjamin replied, get shot with a horse tranquilizer in the ass by an FBI agent and get tested on by the government for funsies. And yeah, that's probably accurate if you were to suddenly become a real-life anthropomorphic animal. Eivor says, wake up, eat, sleep. It's amazing how many of the comments were just, I'd sleep. And I wanted to let you know that even when you're not your Fursona, you can still sleep. Party Wolf Alpha responds, I would run into the forest and scare people in order to become the next Michigan legendary myth. And I guess that's true. It'd be like the Bigfoot, you know, type of thing. Like, I saw a real blue wolf man out in the woods over there, I did. Kahar says, let's see, going for a walk in the woods in the moonlight, looking for herbs, cooking something over a fireplace for my pack, and sitting afterwards by the fire and candlelight, tailoring clothes. That would be a night as my Fursona. That just sounds really relaxing. Or it sounds like you're training skills in RuneScape. I'm not quite sure. Tundra responds, freak out and be scared to go outside because I'm sure my neighbors would call the FBI on a human-sized demon bird and question the next coming of Lucifer with preparation to prepare for the rapture. You went a little dark with that, man. Jeez. And let's look at another clip. Here we go.
I honestly don't know if I'm going to be doing anything too different if I suddenly become an anthropomorphic animal character thing. I'll be noticed in a crowd at least. Suddenly, a 6-foot deer just walks right past you. Huh. Must be time for Christmas already. Also, since I'm a musician, I would totally play into the role of performing music that only pertained to reindeer. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. That's what I would do if I was my Fursona.
Howl responds, my Fursona is a werewolf, so if it happened on a full moon, I'd be trying really hard not to kill anyone. Okay. Alternatively, I'd throw a party with anyone else who turned into their Fursona that day. Yeah, I think the second one's a little, nicer. We'll go with that one. Kieran responds, I would probably just be fabulous, but as a purple and blue and white wolf. Hell yeah, girl, be fabulous. Tycho the Sergal responds, Merp. And that is the most accurate response from a Sergal I've ever heard. Just they'd Merp. Sketch Raccoon responds, skip work because 7 days a week is too much. Oh my god, that's so depressing, huh? You need a break. God. Aww. Private Claus says, join the military and try to survive war? Oh, God. Again, a little depressed. I mean, you can do that now, you know, but dang. Beethoven responds, if I knew it was just for a day, I would cry. Okay, you gotta look at the positive things, man. Don't just look at the negatives. Jeez.
If I was my Fursona for a day, I feel like I would like to go out in the town and maybe party a little or do things that I think I would never do in real life because I would be my Fursona, a completely different character, not who I actually am. And because of that, I would like to just do things I've always wanted to do but have been too scared to because I am scared of what people might think of me. But if it's my Fursona, then I guess I can do whatever I want.
We're reacting to him instead of
Part of the other squad.
Beat him,
trying to-
beat him, beat him, beat him.
Beat him up!
Lazaro says, definitely cuddle with my friends. And that was also another common theme. A lot of people would cuddle. And yeah, cuddling as an actual fuzzy animal thing would probably be pretty great. Mr. Ghostly responds, I would see if I can take off my limbs. What? Kimba responds, use my plant powers to grow a garden. And I'm here to tell you, it's called seed packets and water. Try it. Barkley Beaver responds, I would probably admire myself in a mirror for a while, flex my muscles, see how hard I can slap my tail, and then go out lifting objects to test my newly acquired physical strength. Then I would probably go on an evil power trip and start destroying stuff. Wow, that's a little bit pent up rage there, man. Jeez. Nemo says, oof, I'd be the happiest furball alive. I'd give out free hugs all day and try to make people happy happy, my self-esteem issues would be like blown away, so I'd act the way I've always wanted to and do things I would never dreamed of before. Ooh woo. Aw, man, a fursuit helps your self-esteem. Try that. That's a real life alternative. Bruce says, try to talk to my dog probably. And I just wanted to let you know, if you want to talk to your dog, just say bark. Bark, bark. There you go. You're talking to your dog. Dragon Fruit says, squeak really loudly for 24 hours. Oh God. No, make it stop. No. Ichabod says, get all the belly rubs. And, yeah, invite me in on that. Heck yeah. Justin says, go to the beach and attract all the men with my muscles. Same. Fast Deer says, probably get shot by a hunter or get hunted by a car, TBH. Wow, way to play up the deer stereotypes, man. Frosty Boy says, I'd probably squish my cheeks in the mirror because why not? Okay, I have a question. Which cheeks? Then run around outside seeing what kind of havoc I could cause in public. XD! Same. Hexaroo says, do things my Fursona can do that I can't, unfortunately, do. Like swim underwater for long periods of time and get close-up looks at coral reefs. Actually, that sounds pretty serene. That one's a nice one. Mason says, cry because my family wouldn't accept me anymore. Oh. Oreo says, go and show how fabulous I am to my unsupportive parents. Some of these responses are just like, ooh. Valerian says, question whether or not my pupwood would still be relevant. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the pupwood probably wouldn't fit anymore. Cosmo says, I'd fly to Africa so I could cuddle other lions. He goes down the range in Africa. And those were all the tweets that I picked out. And there were a lot of them. Don't get upset if you weren't picked. It's okay. I mean, maybe next time. But to finish it up, let's do one more video clip of what they would do if they were Fursona. And then I will get to what I would do if I were my Fursona. So here's that clip.
If I could be my Fursona for a day, I would just walk down the sidewalk in a big city somewhere. Now you're thinking, that's not too exciting, but think of people's reactions. People would be freaking out once they realized it wasn't a costume and I was actually a legitimate anthro. Kids would be screaming in fear. Adults would be dumbfounded by the presence of this bizarre creature in their city. The media would be called. Animal control would be called. The police would be called. Everyone would descend on me trying to figure out who or what I was. It would blow up in the media. Everyone would hear about it. Everyone would want to know what this bizarre creature was. It would get bigger and bigger and blow up on social media, and pretty soon the yiffers would find out, and they would flock into the streets, each one wanting to be the first one to yiff with a real anthro. At about that time, I would realize it probably wasn't a very good idea for me to have been walking down a busy street, considering I'm now an actual anthro creature. So at this point, I'm running from the police and animal control and the yiffers and the news media and everybody else, and I'm freaking out and they're freaking out, and it starts to spread, and pretty soon everyone in the whole world knows that this bizarre creature has shown up in a city somewhere in America, and everyone loses it, and pretty soon the fabric of space and time tears, and the universe collapses back in on itself into a tiny supermassive particle, triggering the next big bang, and everything starts over again. So basically, if I could be my Fursona for a day, I would walk down the sidewalk in a city somewhere and inadvertently trigger the end of the universe.
And really quick, before I get to what I would do as my Fursona, check me out on Patreon at patreon.com/OdinWolf. It is the best way to support me, and it is how I can keep doing these videos for you guys every single week. So please, check me out on Patreon. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, if I was my Fursona for a day. Okay, like honestly, most of the stuff I would do, I'm gonna be completely honest, is completely NSFW. Like, not gonna lie. All right, I would do a lot of things I'm not gonna talk about on this YouTube video. However, if I have any extra time after all that stuff, probably film a couple YouTube videos, because I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say that if you are an actual anthro and you filmed yourself on YouTube, you might get a few views or two, you know? I definitely want to record all aspects of the day for future viewings. Did you really expect me to respond any other way? Come on. Come on. Anyway, be sure to comment down below if you haven't already what you would do if you're a Fursona. Also, like I said, check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/OdinWolf. It's pretty great. There's physical rewards and stuff, and it is how I support myself and do this as an actual job. Thank you for everybody who sent me clips too. I appreciate that as well, and thank you for everyone who replied to my tweet. That is also awesome. I also have a P.O. box right here, and you can send me stuff, and I'll open up in a future video. Anyway, we can always dream that one day we'll become our furry selves. That was the cringiest thing I think I've ever said. Anyway, it's been Odin Wolf, and bye. And as always, I want to thank my super amazingly generous patrons at the Diamond tier last month: King17, David G, Lord Hoot, Kalendon, Adalwin Ironhoof, Multiroy, Deku Panda, Lucario Knight, Kunlo, and Bluey Burnout. Thank you all Diamond patrons. You're all super generous. Thank you. And everybody at Platinum, Alpha ELP, Bioballs, Wolf Medic, Operator Fox, Kevin J, Rex Cult, Shade Cyclone, Snowy Wolf, Robert Deere, Dante Wolf, Fluffy Cinnamon Roll, Blotto, Dynamo, Tantanka, Cutter, and Slip Fox Socks, Corvus, Brett D, Alex, and Lexi Fox. Again, thank you all Platinum supporters. You're absolutely fantastic as always. And everybody at Gold, Silver, and other tiers, thank you so much for your support last month.